What's the went through med school just to realize you couldn't stand the sight of blood of your job field? Well, I'm a phlebotomist, so never had anyone who ended up not being able to stand the sight of blood, but have had several people who couldn't do other specimens collected or received in a lab, urine, stool, sputum, etc. Also people who were surprised that most of our draws would be kids, the elderly, chemo and dialysis patients, all notoriously difficult draws, and thought everything would be exactly like it was in school. I've had new people in the hospital when I was there tell me they won't attend the code blues because they can't see anyone die. Like, it's a hospital. People are in bad shape and die in it. I teach English to kids aged 3 to 9 in China. I can't tell you how many people I've met while teaching abroad that either can't stand kids and or constantly complain about how the country is so different from their own, considering being able to handle children and adapt to new surroundings are two of the biggest requirements to do the job. I work in a pathology/bacteriology lab, so basically if you're at all squeamish, you've got no chance. I took swabs from a chunk of necrotic tissue on my second day, and I'll never look at fried mushrooms the same way again. There's quite a few pilots that are scared of heights. Many people become a lawyer only to discover they hate practicing law because they didn't really understand what that meant when they went to law school. Law is very boring, involves a lot of rote work which has little practical effect on a case, and is ultimately soul-sucking. Being a lawyer involves very little grandstanding in courtroom. Many lawyers never do that. Even trial lawyers, like you see on TV, only get a couple trials a year at best and some go years between trials. The only kinds of lawyers in court every day are criminal attorneys. Had a teacher in my nautical academy that found out he was chronically seasick. Got a prestigious degree in finance and economics, realized I sincerely hate the type of people who work in IB/finance. Edit, not all of them of course, but you all know that guy who thinks Wolf of Wall Street is a documentary about him. Sound engineer. I'm sensitive to loud noises. Should have thought that one through. My brother-in-law went through seminary and got a job as a youth pastor, only to find he absolutely could not speak in public. He does construction now. Went to school for firefighting. Had a classmate drop out because he was afraid of heights. Human resources. Went through school to realize I couldn't lay someone off. Honestly, terminations for cause are pretty bad, but at least they did something to cause it. I'm talking about downsizing. Started my own freelance business, then realized I hate people, I hate kissing ass, and I hate stressing about clients paying on time. Spent a lot of time honing my voice and manner skills because I seem to have a talent for customer service. The only problem is I figured out that I hate people in general. Got a master's in psychology. Don't like people. What a bunch of bastards. Going to school for vet nursing or veterinary med and then realizing you are scared of certain animals like mice or rats. Edit, you also have to be able to separate individual behaviors of individual animals from a whole species. Inevitably you will be scratched, bitten, or injured by a stressed animal. I have several scars, but I separate those experiences from other animals of the same species, and I've also learned how to handle and read their body language better, even small animals like rats and mice. Thrilled about all the responses. It is a challenging profession, and not everyone is able to go through putting animals down or having to cause a bit of pain to heal them in the end. So many people don't finish the degree, but that's the same with many professions. Love you, Reddit. Spend years learning about electricity and circuit design, only to discover you are colorblind and can't determine which wire is which. I had nightmares in college about failing lab finals because I had been afflicted with spontaneous color blindness. I was dead set on being a video game developer. Started in Cap, saw the endless hours of crunch, the devs working 80+ hour weeks without showers or shaving, smelled the funk of hundreds of unwashed bodies, the crossed fingers at reaching publisher milestones for bonuses that would hopefully make it all worthwhile, and the constant fear that they wouldn't get picked up for the next project so they could keep getting paid and keep making mortgage payments. Decided that I'd rather be in systems in lieu of development and never looked back. I work in an art museum. I love art, love all of the community outreach the museum does, all the programs for kids/veterans/cancer patients to have a creative outlet. But I hate talking art. It's so bullshitty. Not every person that has an exhibit is going to be a genius. Sometimes, rarely, but it does happen. The artist is a true hack whose work required little to no creative thought, dedication of time, or new ideas. And you look like an asshole if the patron asks what you think of the art and you don't shit your pants over it. You're expected to go to every gallery opening, which is basically every night, even though everyone forgets what was even on display 2 weeks later. But the amount of times I've heard, you haven't gone to the Bone Farm. You haven't seen JoJo's installation of cut up pants? How many hipster galleries do I have to pretend to give a fuck about?